Hi, David.
Hi. I just shared this into the Taya practice group since it wasn't going in there for some reason. So hopefully you are able to watch us in the Taya practice group as well as the Stream of David YouTube and the Stream of David page on Facebook.
Yeah.
So if you're if you're there, type in the comments. Just type in the comments and say hi wherever you are. But if you're in the Facebook group, the Taya practice group, let us know that you're in there so we know that we're actually where we're supposed to be. It's always good to be where you're supposed to be, right, Debbie?
Last I checked.
Allegedly.
Well,
What
it's
about a
supposed to.
fancy intro? We have a fancy intro now.
I thought the fancy intro was pretty rad. I thought it was pretty kicking. I was over there. I want to get this shared out to everywhere. So if you're jumping on right now, please share this out. Hey, David, I love that intro, but I want to know how you've been doing.
I've been doing great. I've been up
I have
since
some
2. I've been up since
for
2.
for why.
The stream woke me up to add something to the last chapter of the forthcoming book.
No joke. This is going to be really exciting for all you jumping on. The streamofdavid.com is what we're talking about. And what you're going to be witnessing here tonight is this beautiful gentleman, David Strickle, slipping into a trans channel where he will be giving us messages from the divine, messages from the stream. You can liken it to other channels that you've seen out there, whether it be Matt Kahn or uh, Abraham Hicks, doesn't really matter. They're all a channel is a channel. You're a channel. You're a conscious
Channels are all the same. A channel's a channel. Right?
channels. No, a channel actually every channel has their own special messages that they bring through. What I dig about the stream in particular is it seems to be cutting edge 2.0 stuff, which is what I really dig. Yeah, everybody does have the ability to channel, as the stream says, but you have to practice whatever it is, whatever divine gift that you have. You have to practice that and hone it, and that's the thing that you've done. That's so awesome. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Luke. So start typing your questions into the chat, please. We're going to just chat a little bit more before that we uh, go to channel, but I am also going to take a minute and slip away so that I can take care of a couple techie things real quick. And I will be right back, David. Why don't you keep everybody
I
excited
guess
and
I'm
talk
going to
to
have to sing.
you sing? Oh, I'm going to stay then.
The cool thing,
I'm
I have to before you go, I have to say while you go do your stuff. I watched the Adele special. Did anybody watch the Adele special?
She just looked really hot.
Oh yeah, she looks amazing. She sounds amazing as always. She had
Hmm.
the special, and Oprah introduced her, and it interspersed in the special where she's singing. Oprah's interviewing her, and I love it because she says that when she sings, it's a whole different version of her, and it's channeled. Adele said that to Oprah on national television. It's channeled. I channel my singing. It is channeled. It's coming from somewhere beyond me because that's the only thing I do like that. And everything else is just little old me. And I love that she said that. And of course, Oprah gets it. She understands all that stuff. So I think that that's so cool. That's so cool. So yeah, we all channel in our own ways and we channel expressions of source. I think all art is expression of source, all of it.
Totally. Hmm.
All new creation is expression of source. So my version of expression of source just tells you how the universe operates, and they have delivered a practice that gives us the tools to live our human lives in harmony with universal law. And that's the thing that is our thing. That's sort of separate than what a lot of other people are doing out there. I think all channeling has value. I think all of it is rooted in universal law. All of it is rooted in uh, source consciousness. It really is all, to me, it's all source consciousness. And the stream is the core of source consciousness. And I don't believe I have a monopoly on that, but I will tell you that my intention in channeling the stream is to strip away any fear and judgment at all, any of it, and share the purest form of source that I'm able to possibly share. So that's my intention of sharing it with you. She has to go fix something. There's something technical going on with our broadcast that she's trying to get fixed so we can just start channeling as soon as she comes back. So if you have questions for the stream, you can start typing those in now. Nothing is off limits. There's always something that they want to chat about when they flow, and they can start the conversation rolling, but it always helps to have questions because that draws out even more new information from the stream. Excuse me. So as we wait for Debbie to come back, I do want to share with all of you that we have a live masterclass happening this Saturday. As you watch us, we're 2 days away, less than 2 days away now from our last live masterclass of 2021. We do 4 of these a year. We do 4 live masterclasses every year, and this is our last one of 2021. We go for almost 2 hours live. And that might sound like a huge time commitment, but the reason that we do that is because I go really, really deep into the Taya practice teachings, and then the coaches and myself, and we're all on for this live event, and you are in a Zoom webinar with us. And we go and answer all of your questions at the end. So if there's something you're not clear about in the practice, or something you're not clear about boot camp or something like that, then we clear all that stuff up at the end in the Q&A. And the amazing thing is when we do these live masterclasses, most of our audience, I would say over 90% of our audience, stays on to the very end for 2 hours, which is insane. I'm not sure that I would stay on for 2 hours for something, but that's okay. You know, if it's really good and it's doing something for you, then we go for 2 hours. So we take all the time that we need to make sure that you understand what the practice is, what the path to learning it is all about. This is a new operating system for humanity that we are delivering with this practice. I can say that with confidence now because we have enough graduates of the program from all over the world who are transformed. And the ones that continue to practice continue to receive bigger and bigger results in terms of more joy, more clarity from source, more abundance in their lives. And you just
Okay, it's on SGW. So now if you could just share it into all the groups.
I put you on. I didn't mean to, but I did.
Was,
You're on with me.
Well, that's okay. I was
You're
just
live.
I was doing techie things, guys, techie things, and then yelling apparently because I didn't know I was on live, and I'm back. Okay, so yeah, I totally agree. It's gonna be a rock star on Saturday. Y'all need to be coming.
Oh, we're everywhere now. Look at you. You put us everywhere. We're all over Facebook. I think we're dominating Facebook right now.
I think we are. I'm just not 100% sure that it actually went to all of where it was supposed to go, but that's really okay. That's okie dokie. Okay.
Wherever we are is perfect. And the amount of people that are on, if it's 1 or 100 or 1,000, it does not matter. Type your questions in for the stream, and Debbie is going to be the fantastic host that she always is. In just a couple of minutes, we're going to bring them in. I was just telling them about the live masterclass this Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's going to be super exciting. Hey, I want to tell you all about something. So listen, you ready, David? So I detuned recently a situation that I had been pissed off about for about 4 months. Just saying. I had been working on detuning this and actually, no, that's not true. You know what it was? I wasn't willing to let go of my ego hold on it. Let go, my and I was holding on for dear life at what that needed to look like. Not everybody in life is going to do the thing that you think that they should do. And when we're attached to how that we think that they need to be doing something, the only person who's going to be pouting and whining about that is going to be me. There isn't going to be
suffering.
We so create our own suffering. And here's the exciting part. So if I do this work, which I do, and I love this work, and if I am practicing appreciation and gratitude, and that is what I live, breathe, and eat, then isn't it so true that I also can find space in my heart for acceptance? Acceptance, because everything is divinely the way it's supposed to be. The stream teaches us this. In Taya, we learn these tools. We learn these tools to understand how come this came up inside of me. The only person I was pissed at was myself because my boundaries weren't straight. My boundaries are only speaking my truth. It's really as simple as that, but it all falls back to me, the common denominator in all of my relationships. And that's what I wanted to tell everybody is that if you go to the masterclass Saturday, you're probably going to get some of these tools, or at least a few of them. Life's too short to have people to have riffraff. It's ridiculous. And it's necessary because it undoes the stuff that needs to be undone so you can recreate it as magic. But yeah, I was stoked about it because I'm like, and it's not relevant, the subject matter. It's just relevant that I pull my head out of my butt. And I know that there was a really big sonic boom. Just saying.
I love it. I'm letting you work it all out because you chose to carry that around for 4 months.
Well,
But what
let
did
me
it do
be
for
true.
you? You know, it's the experience
Well,
you had. It's not about judging
well,
the fact that you did it for 4 months. What experience did you create for yourself and the carrying that around for 4 months?
well, what I experienced and created for myself was the not letting go of something. I mean, I just was stubborn as a mule. I created an experience where myself and other people weren't really happy with the decision I was making. I also created there was also other negative impacts, other negative when you're living in that vibration where and let me tell you all, I think I'm detuning it. I lied about it to myself even during this process. Oh no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm
Are
not
you saying that
I'm
you bypassed it?
oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know, I learned that term from you years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I bypassed it, but good. And you know what's funny is that when you get to the reason that you're actually upset, it's never really the reason that you think that you're upset. It's always something deeper that has to do with some unmet need that I thought I wasn't getting that wasn't getting met, which is also a crock of patootie. I mean, I bypassed it, yeah. I just figured, I'm just going to use appreciation highway, even though I'm appreciating that I not one time did I believe what I said.
Well, yeah, it's got to be authentic appreciation.
So it took me a minute to get to the point where I finally said, all right, I'm going to have appreciation. And today, you guys, it just felt so good to reconnect with somebody that I felt angry with, but yet we all know the truth. So if you've got somebody out there who you have been upset with, or you're holding a grudge against, or that you're pissed off because it's not turning out the way that you hoped, go to the masterclass on Saturday. That's all I got to say because I can't just sit here and teach you in a second how to work through that. You really have to get these tools because it's just not possible. So anyway, thank you, Joe Sliker, for sharing out our live stream. I super appreciate it. So David, that's as honest. I mean, transparency. I can't show up and not tell the truth. Like I was a bypassed, yep, trauma baby, butt hurt, needed an emergency butt hurt kit, butt hurt ninny. That's my newest one, butt hurt ninny. I was a butt hurt ninny. I needed a God, did I need that hemorrhoidal pad? I'm surprised nobody gave me one, you know? Sit my butt hurt ass down on.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to create that for yourself.
Well, I did.
You bring your
And
own rain.
I got tissues for my issues and everything.
You've got all these little sayings that are so funny. All right, we are going to bring the stream in. Uh, we had to let Debbie work out some stuff, and apparently she did. So we're all good.
We're good
So
now.
wherever you're watching this, if you are in a shareable place, share it out. Share it on your page fearlessly. Look at this crazy channeling guy that I follow, or maybe don't. Look at this channeling guy that I don't follow.
Totally.
However you want to put it out there,
It's
just put it out there. And
put
make
it
sure
out
that
there.
your likes and comments are always helpful, and your questions are very helpful, so that we have some framework to talk to the stream. But it sounds like you might have some things to work out in the stream yourself anyway.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. I always love to talk to the stream. Hey, I'm curious. Who put a cranky face up here on the thing? Who meant to like and didn't do the heart but did the cranky face? And if you did do the cranky face and you're still here, I'd much rather you tell us what's up. Tell us what's up. We'll tackle
Yeah,
anything you've got. Anything
yeah.
you've
If
got.
we're triggering you, we want to hear about that.
Oh, I totally want to hear about that. You know it for sure. So put it into the chat. If
I have
there's
to. I
something
have to
that's
put it
coming
out
up,
there. I'm not here to trigger you, but it may happen. So if it's already happening and you already have a frowny face up, the stream's probably going to make it worse. So.
yeah, it's not bypass. Yeah, and we can talk to the stream about what spiritual bypassing
Well,
is
they
and
don't
why
they
that you
don't
do it.
they don't judge our experience nor our feelings. So if whatever experience we have, the suffering that we create is created via our own judgment of it. So they don't operate like that. So you are certainly able to have any opinion or experience that you want, and the stream is going to be completely fine with that.
That's right.
You
That's
don't
right.
have to follow them or worship them or believe in them. They are not about any of that stuff at all, at all, at all. I remember years ago when I first got to the level of channeling where I could really have a conversation, I had all these questions. Who are you? What are you? Were you alive ever before? In my book, The Stream, all that stuff gets answered. But I remember asking about that. Are you a deity? And are you seeking to be worshipped and obeyed? Or their rules? And it was the funniest thing, because I got like almost like this laughter that we're the source of all creation. Why do we need you to worship us? It was just like that. It was exactly that vibration, and it was like, holy hell! I never thought about that. You're
That's
taught that
funny.
that God is the source of all creation and needs to be worshipped and obeyed, and they were exactly opposite of what I was always taught in church. We're the source of all creation. Why in the world would we need you to? If we created you, why do we wouldn't create you to worship us? That's like an ego thing.
It
That
is
would
an
be like
ego
a
thing.
human thing, right? That would be like a human thing.
Totally. And yeah.
I have a topic that I want to share from the stream, and I'm going to share it, and then you can unpack it and talk about it. It's something that this was part of my little 2 a.m. Foray into the book that has been. We've been working on this book for 4 years, and it's done, and we're submitting it now to publishers. And all of a sudden at 2 a.m., it's like, oh, there's one more thing that you need to put in there. And it was the last chapter. It was for the chapter 17 of the book. Here you go. So at 2 a.m., I'm in here. I haven't slept since. You can probably tell I'm pretty wired at this point.
I think that's
Most of
great.
humanity is absolutely operating within a matrix. How do you step out of the matrix? By understanding that the matrix is polarized always. When you reach a place where you are able to hold authentic appreciation for two opposing ideas simultaneously, you have stepped out of the matrix.
I needed that. Oh my God. Wow. Y'all hear this. So we are literally, what we're doing here is seeking authentic appreciation. Gratitude, anybody? Authentic appreciation for both sides of the situation.
Authentic.
David, have
That's
you
the
ever
key. The key is
authentic?
authentic. Being able
See,
to
now I just told
appreciate
you I
both
wasn't.
without needing to take a side, because the matrix, the human created matrix that we operate in, that you don't have to operate in, but by and large humanity operates in, all of the human constructs of society, and we're all in it to some degree. You're down in the matrix when you are operating in polarity, when you're needing to take a side, when you're needing to be right, when you're needing to argue your point, when you're needing to
Yeah.
save someone from their own earthly experience, i.e., save someone from themselves, which is all ego driven. That's a big
Yeah.
one. So when you are able to look at something and appreciate both sides at the same time, you are thinking like source.
That's a space of neutral.
Yeah.
That's the space of neutral.
Well,
That's
that's why
the
it's understanding that we're abundant naturally. The best possible outcome is all the intention that we need, and that there's nothing going on in the earth environment that's going to end what we are.
correct. Something else hit me. So today, and this goes into this whole thing, this moral, I was like, I was doing a check on my moral compass. My moral compass,
How do you define morality?
See, that's a whole other freaking
That's a
can of
whole
worms.
matrixy.
Could we just,
I was going to say matrixy, but it's a little out there. But that's a whole matrix in and of itself. Morality. What is that?
how do you describe, let's ask the stream, how do you describe, I'm going to put it in here, more.
She can't even spell it. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist that joke, Debbie. Now she's going to give me a frowny face. Oh, I've got three. We have 3 frowny faces now. Oh no.
Well, huh? Don't even.
How do you
Okay,
describe morality? You said morality, not mortality, right? Okay, so you've got a question for the stream.
Well, morality. How do you? And I love that and have this, and let's have the stream talk more about being stuck in the matrix with the polarity. Because see, I've had another situation going on, David, which I have talked to you about, which is a trust your abundance situation, but it also has to do with the polarity, the fight back. And what happens when you get this kind of movement going on in your life? I want you guys to think about it. What else does this? Washing machine. And then you open it up and you're like, shit, that still smells. Put it back on. That's your polarity. This is what it does. It's just doing this motion back and forth, and it's just knocking and washing off all the stuff that's there that needs to come out. And it comes out in the
You're talking about agitation.
agitation. Thank you, agitation. But the polarity. There's an agitation between the two forces.
Yeah.
You know, it's and what you're saying
we live
here.
in agitation, but if you're polarized, you're living in agitation.
Mm,
Because we're in polarity creates vibrational flow. So we are all responding to vibrational flow. That's why we're never going to achieve perfection.
mm-hmm.
Because we're not here for perfection. We're here to operate in vibrational flow. But we know now that you can operate in harmony with universal law and harmony with vibrational flow instead of against it, the way humanity teaches us. Because when you're operating against it, you are in the matrix. Because you're fearing and you're judging and you're needing to be right, you're needing to save others from themselves. That's exploring the term morality, I think, is a really good topic for the stream. Because what is morality? Is it a code of conduct that some other human being created for you? Or is it simply being kind to other people? Is morality just a natural state of being when you are operating in high vibration?
I think so. And I think when you're not operating in high vibration, that morality is low. We do things. Yeah.
Because that term morality can be very loaded. You know, it can definitely have, there used to be I don't know if it's still around, but there used to be this thing called the moral majority. And it was an organization where you needed to be this type of person. And if you weren't this type of person, then the moral majority was going to cancel you, essentially. And I remember that. I grew up with that. The moral majority.
Moral majority.
The moral majority. The nuclear family. One man, one woman, 2.5 kids, right? And that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing outside of that. And humanity is really challenging that these days.
Yeah. They really are. And I just want to tell everybody that for on the pages that we've just shown up on, because I just graciously figured out how to do that, we are getting ready to go into channel with the stream of David. I'm also going to show David something because, you know, David, I got to show you something really hilarious. I just want you to see this.
So did you go to Vegas and get married by Elvis?
Yes.
Look. No, you did not.
I did.
You did. You went and got married by Elvis in Vegas. I don't think you're.
Oh, that's you Botox. Don't think it was?
I like the pink Cadillac.
Okay, y'all see this pink Cadillac right here? Look. So, David, look, this is hilarious. Yes, I really did. That's not.
You got married.
I got married.
Are you serious? You went to Vegas and got married, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations. I didn't know that.
No, I know. And we didn't tell anybody. And
are you announcing it right here on Claim Your Power Hour?
I am announcing it right here. I announced it on Friday and I'm at no.
Well, then you're not announcing it here. You already announced it on Friday and I'm the last to know.
No, he did not just do that. Did he just do that? He's the last to know.
Yeah, I'm the last to know.
There's like with you, that makes like 10 and whoever's watching. Who's watching right now? You guys have any questions for me? David, we're going to have a sacred ceremony, which is going to be a sacred ceremony. And that's where everybody comes. I just want to, we're going to have a party. We're going to party.
Nice. I had no idea you got married though. That's interesting.
I'm full of surprises there.
And you got married by an Elvis.
Well, let me tell you, there's a backstory to this, and it is this. If I was ever going to get married again, and I want to tell you all, I always thought the chances of me saying getting married to Yes to the Ring was about as insane as anything. And I said, if I ever do it, I'm getting married by Elvis in in Vegas. And that's the only way that I will consider getting married again. I'll have a sacred ceremony. I will elope full blown and not have an actual ceremony, like big one, a big wedding thing. I want to do that, but I was like, I did that actually when I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
I did. I was just like,
Well,
I just
everybody
wanted
likes
to
the
do.
party that comes after more than the wedding itself, right?
Well, yeah, and I figured, okay, because like I'm looking at Venus. Remember Venus, where we did this stuff, and how? Okay, so that's what I'm thinking, like that. And so we'll talk about it later. But yeah, no, I've not told anyone actually. This has been, and I just figured that right here, right now, live on Claim Your Hour Power would be the best place to do it. All you all, thank you. I love you, and I love the congratulations. Um, and since I can see that you know how to type in the chat really well, and I love that, y'all start typing me some
Yeah,
questions
your
because I need
announcer
them.
brought them all out of the woodwork to type in
Y'all
the
out the
chat. So thank
closet.
you for
Y'all get hey, y'all came out of the closet. I
came out.
love you guys. Oh well, shit. Got to come out of the closet once in a while, right, guys?
I've
Listen,
done it twice. Once as a gay man and once as a channel. So yeah.
David, that's right. You have.
And
That's
I
kind
got
of
disowned by
cool.
people both times.
Oh my, they're lost. I was talking to
Clarity.
Stacy about. We were talking about Stacy and I were talking about you on our show, and we were like, I'm like, you know what? I remember the first time I met David. I'm like sitting across the room because I was single as all hell. I've been single. You've been single the whole time you've known me. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, God, he's just freaking hot. This dude is adorable. Like, just Jesus, he's cute. Then I bitched a little about gay men being really hot and not fair. It's not.
Well, you're also like a foot taller than me, so there's that. But you know, that's a human. That's a matrix, though. That's a matrixy human construct thing that we wouldn't worry
That's
about.
true. Have you seen Matt Kahn's wife? Like, she's like super kind of look at we're all gossiping and shit. She's like way tall and he's not, totally. It's hilarious. But yeah, we were talking about you and it was really super fun. And I wanted to bring that up for everybody that's watching right now because I want you guys to understand something. Please. This isn't just some show that you're watching. Well, it is, but I want you but
I think you're freshly off the Vegas Elvis wedding, and I've been up since 2 a.m. So this is an interesting show, no matter what.
yeah, right. Okay, so look, but what we were talking about, I just want everybody to understand and realize something. I have been with David like in person. I've experienced this phenomenon of energy that comes through him. And just trust me, this is as real as he's this is as real as you get. It's as authentic as you get. And I love that. I've stuck around a long time and I think
Yeah, we've known each
that's
other since 2018, 2017, 2018, something like that.
17. I don't know, but it's been a long time. Been
Yeah,
at least 3 years. I think, at this point. So, you
four.
guys, if you have any questions, four, was it four? Oh, Jiminy, that's right. It is. Okay, you also listen. I need you to do it again. Type into the chat. You were just contemplating doing it. Confirmation. Stephanie, do it. Oh my God. Elvis is the coolest. Okay, I'll tell you what, message me and I'll send you the dude's name. Oh my God. You
Elvis
have to.
Chapel. Is it one of those little drive-up chapels? I've seen. I haven't seen one of those in Vegas in a while. I know there are a couple of them.
Yeah, it is the original one. And as I'm saying my vows, I'm busting up. I am cracking up because I look up and there's this giant blinking stripper thing across the street. And I'm like, yes, because it was just so cheesy, beautiful. And Elvis sang really well, and it was remarkable. I'm going to tell you another thing that you guys need to keep watching us for because I just did my DNA and it's due on December 9th. Now, listen, y'all, my mother refuses to tell me who my biological father is. She won't even give me a hint of
You're
do.
going to find out all kinds of stuff when you do that.
Well, guess what? You guys are going to be finding out with me. So if you're all curious about this as I am, please definitely let you guys can just keep watching with me. Let's start the stream. I mean, how why does it even matter really as to us as a human adult to know where we biologically came from if we don't know? Maybe there's
Good
people out
question.
there people have been adopted. They don't know. They have no idea. But
Well, you can
hey,
ask about that. You can definitely ask about that. And anything else. So we are going to bring the stream, and let's do it now because we're already 35 minutes into the broadcast and we've been very silly. We get silly sometimes. We can be silly, but I had no idea you got married. So congratulations. Officially from me, congratulations to both of you. You and Joe. I know both of you.
I love this. Yeah. You know what? I want to tell you guys something. We are officially the Taya couple. We are the beta couple. And
Yeah, we've
I
had
just got
Taya siblings. We had 3 sisters that went through boot camp years ago. Still 2 of them at least still practice. We have never had a couple, and we've had couples say they were going to do it, and we've never had
yeah.
a couple both go through boot camp. So no pressure, Debbie, but you have to have the perfect marriage now, just so you know.
Dude, yeah, my God. You guys, we're so gonna be talking about all this. But let me just I gotta tell you, and hopefully I can do this and not be too goony, but I mean, okay, yeah, 10,000 we probably are at 12,000 miles that we've driven together already. But without Taya, I would not be in this relationship today. And not because he did it, but because he works the tools. This could have came undone. And this last weekend, like there's been some other stuff, some crater size shit going on that has to be dealt with. And it looks craterish anyway. And type those questions, guys. I don't see any questions. And it
I don't think they believe we're going to bring the stream in. They're waiting to actually have that
there's
happen.
well now there's 17 people on here that I can see watching. So y'all need to do this. Let's go. But do y'all catch what I'm throwing down here? These tools and Joe, isn't that right? These tools, in fact, posted in the chat how that these tools have saved our now marriage already because oh well that's a
Oh,
whole
there's two.
show.
Joe Zamora is on, and Joe Sliker, both boot camp people. So hi, both Joes. Joe Sliker, congratulations on your marriage. And Zamora, good to see you. It is happy hour, and we're going to bring the stream in now
We're bringing the stream in.
because they get paid whether we bring them out or not. So we might as well bring them out, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
They collect their check one way or the other, so we might as well.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So
Okay, here
we'll
we
see
go.
you, everybody. Let's just take
So
a deep
type in
breath.
your questions. If you haven't, we have an angry face, so we need to overcome the angry face by everybody hitting like or love or something more positive on this video. So that'll cancel out the angry face. Thank you all for doing that in advance. Let's bring the stream in. We are here.
Wonderful. And it's a high vibe and time. One of the things that came up is we want to get deep into morality. How does the stream describe morality and how do we gauge it?
We will begin by stating that your language is your language. We utilize David's vocabulary to communicate with all of you. David's intellect essentially to communicate with all of you. And we often claim words and use words differently than perhaps whoever decided to place them in a dictionary intended them for them to be used. We understand the meaning of morality, and where we would guide you with all of that is to, as we always do, remove fear and judgment from the topic. If you think of morality and what morality means, it means whatever you desire for it to mean. It has the power that you give to it, as all things do. But if you take fear and judgment out of it, what remains there is how you treat your fellow beings. Because when you're up your spiral, when you are connected to our energy, you are naturally in a space where you are going to be kinder and gentler with others. Naturally. You're going to be more loving naturally. You're going to be more loving of yourselves naturally. You are going to be more allowing of various ideas and various expressions of physical when you're up your spiral. When you go down your spiral, when you dip down below neutral, you are less connected to our energy. And when you're less connected to our energy, you behave differently. And there are times that you go down your spiral, and you all do, and you behave in a certain way. And then when you return up your spiral, perhaps hours, if not days later, you regret your behavior when you're down. You will say things like, I did not mean that. I said things I didn't mean. But you did mean them. You meant them from that different state of being. And it's very important, if you are following our teachings, for you to understand that you are vibrational beings and you are on a vibrational journey in physical. And your journey is going to be up and down the spiral because you are operating in a polarized environment in what we refer to as vibrational flow, moving up and down that virtual vibrational spiral. We share that there are absolutely things that you can do in your mindset, practices that you can adapt if you want to. And if you do, will make that up and down vibrational journey something that's very different than perhaps it is for you right now. That is your taking control of your human operating system, which is your mindset, which is your subconscious mindset, essentially, because your subconscious mind is what is essentially creating your reality. Until you learn to disrupt the conscious train of thought that is creating things that you do not like, you are going to continue to see things that you do not like showing up in your reality. So when you speak of morality, there are various definitions of this, and many of them are loaded with judgment. So where we guide you in these teachings is to remove fear and judgment and understand that the stream version of morality is being kind and allowing of others.
Wow. So it's being kind and allowing of others. That's beautiful. Anger. I found myself, I found a lot of people right now, and in the chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong about anger. Who's feeling frustrated and anger? And I want to talk about, please, let's expand on anger and why is it there and how can we release it and get more honest with ourselves faster. And one of the reasons I say this is because in Facebook user, sorry, I don't know who you are because it just doesn't show me. It says you're trying to go into high vibe ball breaking. Well, I love that. Let's see what the stream is gonna bring forward there. Because I pick up there's some anger, frustration there.
We will travel down the path with you of what David shared before we fully manifested here about the matrix, about the polarized matrix that you all operate in. And in this polarized matrix, the more you are down in polarity, the more you are operating in down your spiral, the more polarized you become. And we are speaking in terms of your general vibration, not a moment-to-moment vibration necessarily, but your general vibrational flow, the vibration that is creating your general reality. You all have that going on. It is the repetitive things that you see showing up in your lives again and again and again and again. And when you find yourselves in judgment, meaning when you find yourselves needing to be right, needing to take sides, needing to argue your point, needing to save another from their earthly experience, you are in the matrix. You are operating in the matrix. There's nothing wrong with you operating in the matrix. You are physically manifested beings. You chose to project into the system that you're in. From your eternal consciousness, you chose the exact set of circumstances that you projected into. From your human consciousness, you may not want to claim ownership of that. You may be thinking that you would have never chosen from your eternal consciousness perspective the set of circumstances that you projected yourself into. but you're judging it from your human perspective, which is natural. But understand that the matrix that you have dropped into is laced with human created rules, human created fear and judgment. And that matrix has served a dual purpose, as all things do. The purpose of expanding humanity into societies. These things are exactly what set you on the path of creating all of the advancements in technology that you have. You would not be in the space that you're in if you didn't take the path that you did. And we are speaking of all of humanity. But now you are moving into this phase, this very exciting time to be manifested on planet Earth, where you are coming to question like never before. Humanity is experiencing a reset of the Earth environment, and you are all aware of it in different ways, but you're seeing it expressed in different ways. Some of you are questioning and moving more and more and more out of the matrix, allowing yourselves to open your minds to various ideas, not needing to choose a side, not needing to judge it as much. You are all judgmental. You are all discerners of preference. It is a natural state of being for you, but you can detune, by and large, the majority of that judgment. You possess the tools to detune most of the judgment that you experience. It is simply a trained response to your environment. But your environment, your perception of your environment is indeed your own creation. So therefore, you hold the tools to change that environment, to change everything that you've created. Because your operating system is also your own creation that you crafted as a reaction to the things that you manifested even prior to birth. Your point of entry, your experience in the womb, certainly your birth experience, certainly your early childhood experience, absorbing the environment that was around you, absorbing beings in their own vibrational flow, meaning that you were absorbing vibrations of everyone around you, regardless of how much they adored you, from up and down their spiral. So right away, you began learning things that inspired you. You began learning things that limited you. You began learning things that shaped your opinion of you and your ability to operate in the Earth environment. Your operating system is your subconscious train of thought, and you created it. The reason that we share this with you is because you also possess the ability to shift it. Not dramatically, not instantaneously. It's a vibrational thing, as all things are. So it's rewriting. It's writing a new updated code and rewriting that code again and again and again, and watch your life begin to move in your favor. Begin to understand that you are naturally abundant. That abundance is truly your natural state of being. But this matrix that humanity has created teaches you to demonize it, to demonize your system of commerce, to demonize your government, your religion, and all of those things, understanding that your demonization of anything gives it life, gives it power. And when you stop demonizing and start appreciating, humanity tells you that that is radical. How can you possibly appreciate X, Y, Z? How can you possibly appreciate being told that you're less than? How can you possibly appreciate being placed in a box, in a category? How can you possibly appreciate those that treated you poorly? How could you possibly appreciate the illness that you have manifested? How can you possibly appreciate being anything less than the human created ideal? But understand that that human created ideal is just that. It's part of the matrix. That perfect body and perfect bank account and perfect business and perfect relationship, all of those notions are part of that created matrix. And when you stop judging yourself against it, notice that you will lift out of it. You all have the ability to lift out of this matrix and begin operating outside of it. And there are beings among you that absolutely operate outside this matrix. The ones that you celebrate as genius, magical, inspiring, understanding that not one of them is a perfect being. but they've placed themselves by and large out of the matrix via their own belief and their worthiness not to participate in it. And when they are out of the matrix, at the top of the abundance pyramid, if you will, looking down on the rest of humanity, they are looking down in appreciation of the support that they receive from all of humanity, even though they are misunderstood by the majority of humanity and very often demonized. But you can place yourselves at the apex of any topical pyramid: wealth, relationships, health, happiness, all of it. But understand that in vibrational flow, you're not going to be static at the top of that pyramid on every single topic. You did not come here for that. Not one of you came here to operate in constant perfection. You very much came here for the challenges. But you did come understanding that you possess the ability to not be torn apart by the challenges, to not suffer in them. You understand eternally still that your suffering is created via your judgment of whatever you're experiencing. And if you're in the matrix, humanity is very much teaching you that you're supposed to stay in that matrix and you're supposed to suffer in it, because you're supposed to think like a victim. You're supposed to think that nothing is your fault, that everything is thrust upon you from external forces, and that you are powerless over your life experience. You can certainly choose to operate with that belief system if you want to. And as our promise to you, that will deliver an expansive experience for you. From your eternal soul consciousness perspective, you will look upon that experience in the matrix as something that made you a more sophisticated version of you. But it's optional. You have found your path to these teachings because you understand that you don't have to place yourself in this matrix all the time, that you can move out of it, you can rise above it, you can topic by topic begin reimagining and questioning and understanding that so much of your belief system is something that you absorbed from the teachings of others. Where we are guiding you with all of this is to never absorb our teachings and blindly follow them without experimenting with them yourselves. Because we are always guiding you inward, 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 inward. We are never delivering rules. We are never delivering judgment. We are never going to deliver fear on any topic. Those are human qualities. We see the eternal version that is you. And we see the version of you that cannot possibly be damaged or destroyed by anything happening in the earth environment. That's part of the matrix. You are taught to fear two inevitable truths for a physical being: aging and dying. You are taught to fear those two things. Yet it's two things that are inevitable if you live enough years. You are going to die no matter what, and you are going to age unless you die young. Think about it. Think about the amount of fear and judgment that is placed around dying and aging. Why is that? Do you ever look at a photograph of someone who is aging and decide to zoom out and zoom back in and judge them less? Not necessarily looking at them as too old or too wrinkled or too gray or too bald or too fat or any of those things. Instead, see through all of that human constructed judgment and look into their soul, because even in a photograph, even in a video, you hold the capacity to do that. And see the being that is there. And look through the lens of appreciation of what is, regardless of how humanity is telling you to judge what you are observing. Moving forward, anytime you feel yourselves triggered and anytime you find yourselves in judgment, stop yourselves and ask yourselves, if you take fear and judgment out of the equation, if you zoom out to a higher perspective and zoom back in with that lens of source that you all possess and view any topic without fear and judgment, how do you feel? That is source perspective, and you all have access to it. You all have your version of this. Whether you are able to speak it the way that David does or not, you all have access. And it's important to understand that the more you use this zoom in, zoom out tool, where you go and grab source perspective, and you are not really going and grabbing it from anywhere, you are accessing what is already within. But if it helps you to think of going out into the ethers and bringing it in, then use that tool, use your imagination, and view things differently, and start retraining how you observe the earth environment. Question all of it. And in your questioning of all of it, understand how much of it is learned behavior, how much of it is the trained matrix, and how you do not have to participate in any part of that that you do not want to participate in.
Okay. So one of the things that is being said here is, do you understand that a person in the middle of a crisis cannot understand or appreciate it? So, and also what I've heard, what the stream is describing is empathy 2.0, taking empathy to another level. That's how I'm perceiving this. But what about for this person who's saying, okay, but what about for the person in the middle of a crisis that can't understand and appreciate this?
When you are so far down your spiral that you have manifested your path into a crisis, you are not accessing that space, but you can learn to. You can learn to. Understand that. Understand that you can operate so differently that you are not manifesting crisis to begin with, and you can learn to react to a crisis from a much higher perspective. The response to everything is absolutely your learned response to it. You were taught to judge. You were taught to fear. Would we suggest that someone adapt this mindset or attempt to while they're mid-crisis? Of course not. They would not even have access to this information. They would not be seeking this out in the middle of a crisis in this way, because it would turn them off so instantaneously they would have to move on to something else. This is a mindset that is learned over time. This is a powerful process that you all came pre-equipped to access. But if you've traveled very far down the path, and many of you have, of fear and judgment, of feeling like a victim, of believing that that crisis has nothing to do with you, it's something that you've been dropped into, and you are powerless in it, then you've got some work to do to shift your thinking around how you respond to whatever's going on in your existence. We are not piping this information into someone who is in mid-crisis. But absolutely, there are practitioners of the Taya practice that absolutely can respond to crisis very differently than someone who has no clue about these teachings. Humanity is just beginning to ready itself for teachings such as this. That's why they exist. That's why this is being offered in this way, because humanity is gradually gravitating toward a space where there are more and more that are ready to understand that the response to anything and everything can be different than what you have been told that it's supposed to be. And many of you access this instantaneously in a crisis by not freaking out, by not necessarily going down your spiral and becoming that completely bound up version of you. Many of you rise to the occasion naturally in a crisis. What is that? That is you accessing your version of this, responding positively to the crisis, taking positive action, understanding that once you've gone down your spiral, because you're in something that you're labeling a crisis, the second you're able to step away from it and breathe for a moment, suddenly solutions to your crisis can start flowing in. But when you're down in that crisis and you're judging it as bad and you're judging it as wrong and you're playing the victim, you are going to hold yourself in that space. And that's true for all of humanity. We are not here to sugarcoat any of this for you. There is no use in the sugarcoating of the matrix for you. Absolutely no use, because there's no value in that. You have all traveled far down that path as humanity, manifesting your way into this matrix where you believe that you are powerless. We are here to tell you that you're not. We are here to tell you that you have the power to change. You have the power to shift your consciousness on anything. And if that angers you, then you've got some work to do or not. But we are not preaching a gospel that you have to adhere to. You can decide whether you follow these teachings or that they are complete turnoff to you and move away from them. In fact, we very much encourage you to do that if you are not prepared to hear this at this point. This is not for everyone. You're not all ready for this. But if you are, we are offering a set of tools that free you from the matrix, that free you from the judgment of the crisis, that free you from the need, the egocentric need to save others from themselves and from their experiences. That is all rooted in ego, needing to be the savior of another.
Mm.
We guide you to think about being the inspirer of another from your own work that you are doing internally on your set of circumstances. Understanding that if another asks for your help, there's nothing wrong with offering it up. But coming forth believing that you are going to save humanity from itself by labeling others victims and saying that they are powerless, you are offering nothing to them.
Wow. That's some powerful stuff here. And Kathy, I did see your question. I'll be right there. But I want to address CJ here because, well, first I want to say to CJ that I love that you're transparent. And a lot of what this answer has just been said by the stream, but I kind of want to bring your stuff up specifically. So CJ says, so if the goal is to get out, then why come in the first place? I feel like a human tortured for the benefit of the unseen, for an unseen entity, so the entity can have an experience.
Understanding that the unseen entity is you. You are the one that has created the experience. Dropping into the human experience and dropping into the matrix is giving you an expansive journey, whether you ever get out of the matrix or not. We are not coming to save the world from the matrix. We are not coming to save you from the matrix. We are coming offering a set of tools and a set of teachings that allow you to lift yourself out of it. And when you lift yourself out of it, you will be significantly expanded as a human being and expanded as an eternal consciousness being, a more sophisticated version of you for having been in the matrix, understanding that you're in it and moving beyond it, learning to operate outside of it, even if you drop into it from time to time. But that feeling of powerlessness that you may have, believing that there's some external entity that is toying with you and enjoying your suffering in the matrix, that is all something that you have absorbed in a set of teachings that you can release. And as soon as you release that, you will claim more power to end the suffering. And you end the suffering via appreciation. Because all suffering is created by your judgment of whatever it is you're experiencing. There is nothing that you can possibly experience in the earth environment that you cannot ultimately find authentic appreciation for. Nothing, because there's nothing that's happening in this environment that can end that which you are. You are an eternal being having a very temporary human experience, one of infinite experiences simultaneously. And every expression that you are in, you are becoming a more sophisticated consciousness in these experiences. And it's not because of the suffering that makes you that way. The thing that creates your sophistication is the experience itself. It does not have to be suffering. In fact, you will find great expansion in the reimagining everything that you have ever encountered in your lifetime, everything that you perceive as your reality, understanding that you absolutely possess the power to change it backward and forward. Everything that you've encountered, everything. And in the changing of it, in the path to appreciation of it, you detune its power over you. And as you detune its power over you, you detune your triggers. You stop seeing these things recur in your life that you think you have no control over. These unwanted circumstances that keep coming back around again and again and again. You find yourselves believing that you're solving it, only to feel like a rubber band is pulling you right back into that old vibration. The only path to solving that rubber band syndrome is through finding authentic appreciation for the root causes of your triggers. And you can all go through processes where you allow yourselves to discover these things. Where we guide you with this, however, is not to rush into any of this, not to feel like you need to solve all of it and know all of it instantaneously. It is a journey. But what happens when you start operating the journey differently with a different set of tools, when you start removing fear and judgment, when you start removing the need to be right, when you start removing the need to save others from their experience. This is not how you're taught. You are taught to be benevolent. You are taught to put others before yourselves, to be selfless, that there is something wrong in being selfish. But think about this. How much do you truly have to offer another, whether it's another being that you care about deeply or all of humanity, when you are in lower vibrational territory? When you are down on yourself and you're down on humanity and you're fearing everything that's going on around you, you have very little to offer in your own expansion as a human being, and certainly very little to offer anyone else. Certainly not in the judgment of their experience as bad or wrong or should not be. But when you start shifting and start realizing that the matrix operates in reverse of universal law, when you are operating in harmony with universal law, you are understanding that placing yourself at the top of your spiral, loving yourself more than anything, understanding that you loving you more and you doing the work that you might be guided to do to detune your transgressors, to lighten your vibration, to move up your spiral more, to be more joyful, to be more abundant, to be less fearful, less judgmental, to be more in appreciation of everything going on in your world, that you are offering so much more to your fellow beings, to all of humanity, to the entire earth environment from that high vibrational vantage point. So much more. You are so much more powerful up there than you are when you're down in judgment, worrying about someone else's suffering, trying to save them from themselves, needing them to be different to please you. There is so much more power at the top of your spiral in deep, authentic appreciation of all that is as it is, including every aspect of your life, your being. Everything that you've manifested is all your creation. Claiming ownership of that and finding deep, authentic appreciation of it is the path to more abundance, more joy, more clarity, more love of self, more of whatever it is you're wanting to experience. Always.
Beautiful. We are at the top of the hour. However, I'd like to at least have the stream address this with Kathy, and then we will be done for the evening. So, Kathy says, I really have anger, but I do have frustration. As she's experienced confusion and memory loss that the doctors don't know why. And she's curious what could possibly be causing confusion for her.
Very often, if you are attempting to upgrade your operating system and you sort of feel like you have a foot in both worlds, you have a foot in the matrix and you have a foot in the your soul consciousness energetic realm world, that can create confusion. Where we guide you with any condition is to authentically find appreciation for it. It is simply the experience that you're having. Again, the matrix tells you that you're supposed to fight it, you're supposed to battle it, you're supposed to find a solution for it. You are suffering in it, and until you find a solution, you're going to continue to suffer, and there is something wrong with you. We are telling you there is nothing wrong with you. We are telling you that you are having part of your human journey. And the sooner you find appreciation for whatever you've manifested, authentic appreciation for exactly what's going on, breathing into the confusion, breathing into appreciation of the memory loss, you will start to find solutions for it. All of the solutions exist above neutral on your spiral. You are only capable of new thought and new creation above neutral. You know when you're above neutral because you feel good. So when you arrive at a topic that triggers you or frustrates you or drags you down, repeat to yourself that the only reason you're suffering is because you are judging the experience. Because the matrix tells you that it's wrong to be experiencing it. You should never be in pain. You should never have any type of medical condition whatsoever. You should never be in poverty. You should never be in a relationship that's anything less than perfect. You should never be in a body that isn't poster ready. But is that true? That's all holding you in the matrix by driving you toward judgment. But understand that you're choosing it. And the good news about your choosing it, learned behavior, is that you can learn a different behavior. You can learn to judge everything less and less and less and less. And as you release judgment, you will find the light. As you release judgment and find a little glimmer of light, then you can latch onto that light and you can begin walking down the path of appreciation. There is nothing more freeing and nothing more healing than radically appreciating that which the matrix tells you to battle and fight and push against and demonize. Notice the things that you and your personal lives and all of humanity battle and fight and demonize and push against tend to stick around. Very often stick around repeatedly and keep coming back in different forms. And very often getting solved just in your tiring of the topic. Tiring of the topic so much that you take your focus off of it for just a moment. And when you do, it starts to shift. It starts to improve. And if you celebrate that improvement and understand that you created the improvement without fearing the return of it, without going back into the demonization of it, you will see continued improvement on any topic. It works on every single topic there is. But be clear, authentic appreciation is the key. We have labeled it radical appreciation because most of humanity would label all of this as radical. Who is that bald man telling us to appreciate suffering? Who is that person saying that someone in crisis needs to find appreciation for it? How dare he? But that's the matrix. And understand, once again, these are subconscious trains of thought that you have spent a lifetime creating, whatever it is. Whatever your mindset is, you have spent your entire lifetime creating it, most likely by default, most likely as a reaction to the teachings and the things that you've experienced. But now is the time to start reimagining it, if you so choose. There is no mandate from us that you do anything, ever, ever. These are a set of teachings that are optional for any and all of humanity. But those that follow these teachings have seen the results. They have seen more joy, more clarity, more abundance start showing up very quickly in their lives. And the more you practice it and the more you get momentum going in that direction, the more you will start seeing bigger and bigger and bigger results. And soon, if you have not experienced it, you will understand what many describe as an awakening. Understanding that the matrix operates in reverse of universal law, and that even if you have been studying these things for years and find yourselves in frustration, now you hold the keys. Now you understand that it's a vibrational journey that you can start changing your mindset little by little, day by day, and start seeing benefits very quickly. And then the more you believe and the more you trust and the more you detune fear and the more you detune judgment and the more you detune the need to be right, the more you detune your need perhaps to save others from themselves, the more you detune the need to get in the muck of polarity regarding politics or health or vaccines or anything else. And the more you find authentic appreciation for all opinions, allowing all other beings to have their own manifested journey without your judgment, the more you will be able to detune the judgment of self, which is very often the harshest judgment of all.
Wonderful. We are past the hour quite a bit, so we are good. And thank you very much, Stream.
We have shared quite a bit, and the questions and the comments have brought forth the perfect set of teachings for this interaction. As always, if our words resonate, we guide you to listen to this a few times. We have created this vibrational journey together, this learning experience like no other. And you're not here by accident. So if they resonate, you are in the right place. If they do not, it is right for you to turn away from them. There is no getting this wrong. There is no messing up life. There is no prize or punishment at the end of this. The experience is just that. It is the experience. And everything is just that. Everything is just a collection of experiences that you are having in the earth environment. None are good, none are bad. All are experiences that expand your being eternally. With much love, that is what we have.
Oh, that was awesome, you guys. So I have just, hey, David, welcome back. Everybody, I have typed into the chat, I posted into the chat the link for the free masterclass that is going to be on Saturday. So please jump into that. John Fiore, I love you. Just got a huge shout out. Joe, Zamora, Beck, Barb, thank you. You guys just all were phenomenal tonight. Thank you for such a great audience. That, it was packed full of punches. It was just like boom, boom, boom. Seriously. It was fantastic.
Packed full of punches, huh?
Packed full of punches. Not
did
appreciation.
the stream punch us out? What happened?
Well, no, just really point blank clarity, and I think this clarity is important. You guys are all heard. We have a big eclipse, full moon tomorrow, and if you believe in doing this, then release whatever it is you need to release. It's no longer serving you. Join us on Saturday morning for the masterclass. It is free. It is in the chat right now. You guys can jump on that link. Awesome, Kathy. We can't wait to see you on Saturday. That's fabulous. So you guys, please just come on. Let's get some tools. Bring your questions with you to the summit. Or to the masterclass. It's going to be a blast. So any last words, David, before we go bye-bye?
I'm excited to see all of you Saturday morning. Like I said, set aside 2 hours. It's going to be 2 very powerful hours of stream teachings, of the practical application of all this stuff that they delivered, whatever it was tonight. I don't remember a whole lot of it. And a lot of Q&A at the end. And the TIA coaches, some of the TIA coaches, we have tons of TIA coaches now. So some of the TIA coaches and myself are going to be on for 2 solid hours, and we will be answering your questions at the end. Also, if you are in Southern California, save the date, January 15th, 2022. We are having an Ascension event in person at the Sheraton LAX in Los Angeles. It is going to be amazing. And we changed the name from Summits to Ascension because Summit didn't quite describe the Super Vibe event that we create together on Zoom. Guess what? We're going to be in the same room doing this. We're going to have our first live in-person channeling event where you can come and be in the space with the stream. If you're called upon, you can come up and sit with the stream and converse with the stream, ask questions. This is going to be an amazing event. And I haven't done this in a couple of years. COVID kind of knocked us out of it. But the times that we've done it, it's just been absolutely off the wall incredible. Just the vibes that everybody brings to that. It's not just me and it's not just the stream. It's everybody coming in and creating that amazing vibration. Yeah. So if you are in or can be in the LA area on Saturday, January 15th, the tickets are going to go on sale next week for this Ascension event. It's Saturday only, and it's 5 hours. 5 hours of super vibes. And we are going to take breaks and all that kind of good stuff.
Yep. Yeah. So, and I think we'll see you guys in 2 weeks because next Thursday is Thanksgiving, I think. So we'll probably not, I don't know that we're going to do that yet.
We're not doing a show on Thanksgiving. No, I think our shows are canceled the week of Thanksgiving. Yeah. You can do your next week show if you want, but I know my 2 shows are canceled because I have an out-of-town guest coming to visit that I haven't seen in 5 years. So yeah.
Well, I love you guys, and thank you for being a wonderful audience as always. And we shall talk to you soon. Please go join the Facebook group, the TIA Practice, and go to the streamofdavid.com if you'd like to book a discovery session and learn more about how the TIA tools can help you in your daily life. All right. Peace out, everybody.